Hello, hello, hello. This is Patrice Williams. How is everyone today? Today is one of our final episodes of Unsung Heroes of Solano County. I am so excited to bring on to our virtual stage today someone really special. But in the meantime, before I bring her on, I want to say that this show is for you pet owners. So if you are a pet owner, you need to be here. You need to listen to this information. The woman that we are going to be bringing on is an expert in this area in Solano County. I can't wait to introduce her to you. But before I do, if you have a pet, I want you to put in the chat room the pet you have and your pet's name. Go, put it in there. Because the guests that I'm going to bring on, we're going to check out and see what type of pets you have. If you don't have a pet, but you have you did have a pet, so I don't have a pet right now. My pet passed away a few years ago, but I'm gonna put in chat the name of my pet, what his name was in his honor, and I want you all to do the same. I'm going to start the program with a few of our slides before I bring in our special guest. I'm doing that now. Give me a second. For you all that have joined me for quite a few sessions, you know this as our Unsung Heroes of Disaster Preparedness presentation. Again, we're doing something pretty special this time. We are going to be focusing on our pets. This is going to be a pet-driven presentation. As you know, my name is Patrice Williams. I am your moderator. I am the host of both Empower Solano, the founder of Empower Solano, and Brand Gov Outreach. But I bring this presentation with you with the help of community partners. Our community partners is Listos, California. They do this amazing work in emergency preparedness. I am with Empower Solano. This program is produced by Brand Gov Outreach. SVNL is our Center for Volunteer and Nonprofit Leadership. Change starts here, is what they say. And they are a community partner. They are a sponsor. Our final sponsor is Volunteer Solano Volunteers. That effort is led by Rhonda Smith. Rhonda Smith is the brainchild of this complete program. This came from her brilliant marketing mind to highlight all of our amazing folks in disaster preparedness in Solano County. With that, I would like to introduce to you our special guest today, and she is the one and only Vicki Dawson. I'm bringing you forth. There you are.
Hello, hello. So glad to be here.
We are, I was telling you before and in our pre-show talk that your name precedes you, ma'am.
That's awesome. That's honoring. It really is.
Well, I'm going to, before I pepper you with questions, I want to properly introduce our audience to you. I'm going to read off your bio, and give me a second. Let me just pull it up here. Vicki Dawson is the president and founder of Solano Community Animal Response Team, Solano CART. This nonprofit organization was started in June of 2018 and was established as a nonprofit in September 2019. At the time of the LNU fire, Solano CART had sworn 54 disaster service workers with Solano County. This group is required to take a number of FEMA courses on the incident commands system, as well as the fire line safety training. You specify specific hands-on handling trainings, and members who pull trailers must complete a driving test. Many of our members have cross membership in Napa CART, Contra Costa CART, Sonoma CART, and NVADG. Solano OES, Solano Animal Control, and Solano CART have been working to establish a working relationship during disasters like wildfires here in Solano County to improve safety when removing animals in dangerous situations, and accountability, who is the field behind hard roadblocks. The LNU complex fires was the first working deployment of Solano CART and the first time working directly with animal control during a disaster. During the LNU fire, Solano CART evacuated 200 animals and transported them to the large animal emergency shelter at the Vallejo Fairgrounds and to animal services in Fairfield. This group was asked by animal control to care for 300 plus animals sheltered in place during hard roadblocks for nearly 2 weeks. During the year, Solano CART is working to equip Solano County animal owners with the next disaster through networking and education. This group, disaster preparedness presentations, disaster action planning, advising for property owners, evacuation assistance during voluntary evacuations, and activated by Solano OES, will assist animal control in removing animals in mandatory evacuation zones.
Yes.
Vicki.
That's a few things. We do some things.
You do more than a few things. You are doing the good work in the community. And I want to say thank you. I also want to say, let me show you another slide, because 2 things. A, when you sent us our bio, you were like, it's a team.
It is a team.
Then you would not send us a picture. You sent us team pictures.
That's
and
right.
I said, I am going to give I'm going to let Vicki do a special shout out to the team. Vicki, you tell us what pictures we're looking at.
Okay, so down in the far, well, as I'm looking at the screen, it's the group picture down in the bottom corner. That's the first swear-in that we did at the Office of Emergency Services, where Don Ryan swore in the first batch. I believe there was about 34 of us that got sworn in as disaster service workers. We've since done a second swear in where we added in probably a good 20, 24 new members in after this picture a year later. So that's your team. That's who's in the field. So it was very, very important to me in doing this thing is that this isn't about me. This is about the community, and this is these people that work with Solano CART. They're in your community. They're your neighbors. They are the people who have horses and sheep and llamas and alpacas and pigs and all of that. They're right there with you, dogs and cats. And so these people care about the community as much as you do. And they're out there volunteering their time and effort. And so the other pictures are actually from during our fire, the LNU fire. You had the horse trailers, you had people. You can see that we're in protective gear, we're in uniform, we're out there, we are using different skills that we've learned to help animals who are injured. They can't, there's a picture there of a llama. He's hurt and he's too big to carry, so you have to use straps to put him under their belly and help them along to get them to the trailer so you can get vet care for them. So this is the team, and I want to shout out to Solano CART members, all of you, old and new, from those that have been with me since day one to the ones that just joined once the fire started. This is Solano CART, not me. This is Solano CART. And we wouldn't have rescued 200 animals and sheltered in place over 300 animals for 2 weeks without these people, without these team members.
Look at you. You just, it's just, your excitement just shines through when
they're awesome. These are amazing people. These are people who bring a wide variety of experience. Within our team, we have retired firefighters, we have retired law enforcement, we have nurses, we have horse trainers, we have just this wide variety of expertise. We have volunteer firefighters, we have ex-animal control officers, and they've all come together to be a part of Solano CART, and they're bringing their expertise with them, so that we are a trained group. We bring skills to the group. We have a member of the auxiliary communications group in Solano County, so they bring the expertise of using ham radios. We have the cooperation with the Vacaville Radio Club. They have helped us develop our radio skills. And I mean, this is it's a community effort. It's a community effort. And these people need to be recognized as a critical part of Solano CART.
Yes. Okay, well, let's go to our chat. One of our previous heroes, Solano County heroes, Jessica. Okay, I'm gonna give a try at your maiden name. Ostrowski Kelly. She might get me, but I'm trying to do better with my pronunciation. Yeah, she is one of our former, our current, forever current Solano heroes. She says that she has 2 dogs, Allie and Bella, and 5 chickens. So shout out to those pets. Tanya Austin says she has a pet named Lola, and she had Lola a few years ago. Let's see. So Empower Solano, that's our team. I think that's Lisa. Lisa has a dog named, I'm saying she has a dog. I don't know if it's a dog. It could be a cat, it could be a chicken, it could be a possum, but it's Lucy. Juicy is her name. Maybe it's a boy, I don't know. Juicy is the name. And let's see if we have any other pet names. Oh, Jessica says good enough on her name. So anyone? Oh, so my first pet was Storm. She was an amazing pit bull, and rest in peace, Storm. I will love you forever. And let's see. And then we have you when you were doing. So Lisa said yes, it's a dog, and the name is Juicy. So we want to shout out some of our other organizations. Let's see. So Empower Solano is saying, yes, it's truly a team effort. Thank you to the Solano CART team, firefighters, first responders for all that they do. Solano volunteers is shouting you out. And they are saying, thank you, Vicki, and to all of the Solano CART volunteers. You rock. And we always shout out our founder of this and brainchild of this organization, to Rhonda Smith, and to Jessica Kelly, is one of our unsung heroes. And let's see, and I think we have one more, which is thanking you for being a true unsung hero, and grateful for you and your team for all the wonderful things you do to protect animals during disaster. So we just wanted to do that. You all keep on putting the names of your pets and your past pets. We want to know all about them. Let's see. Solano Volunteers gave us a link. Okay, give me a second. I'll figure out what that link is. You know what? So Solano Volunteers, tell me what that link is, so I don't have to look. I think what you're doing is you want anyone that would like to volunteer to sign up on this link. I have a feeling that's what this is, but you tell me for sure. Don't make me work so hard. Tell me what. Tell me what we need to do with that link, ma'am. Okay, so that's that. So let's get into this presentation. Me and you, Vicky, and some of those that have been with us for previous presentation, they have seen this presentation before. But what's going to be unique about the presentation today is we have you, and we want to make this presentation pet animal driven. Okay, so
we can do that.
There are 5 steps to emergency preparedness, and there's 5, and what we're going to do is go through them one at a time. And but I wanted you to see all 5 of them at one time, Vicky, because I want you to tell me at the end if we're missing something. You know, when we're looking at these 5 steps, is there really a 6th step, you know, for those that have animals, or are we doing it right and just looking at pet owners through the lens of each of the 5 alerts?
Yes, so, and that's what I would say. It looks like all 5 of those things are what we tell people, and we just basically each step that you have, you do it for the people that are involved in your household, and then you repeat it again for your animals.
Oh, okay. I love it. Let's do the first one. So this is our screenshot where we talk about getting alerts, and we've had different people, unsung heroes that have focused on different ones. For example, Jessica, who's on the line now, she talked about cell phone and the different alerts. I know Ron Turner was here, and he really honed in on radio alerts, and I thought that was pretty brilliant. Other people have talked about social media. When we have the lens of our pets, of our animals, how do we look through that lens? How do we help our pets with these alerts? Or are we missing something?
I think that a lot of these are good. I just have to give a shout out to Jessica. During the fires, man, I got a lot of information from her just going to her Facebook page. She really had stuff up and going, and she was a wonderful resource for me personally and for Solano CART. So those cooperative efforts, you know, with the different ones that you have listed are key. Maybe some ones that can be added is, and this was hard for us. This is where Solano CART, we're hoping to do some improvement, but we are realizing that we didn't have specific people dedicated to our Facebook page to keep the public updated on what was going on. And so we're going to be changing that. So having Solano CART Facebook page, so, and it's spelled all the way out, Solano Community Animal Response Team. You can go on Facebook and you can like our page because we will provide information during a disaster that would be relevant for the animals. But then also you can go to the Solano County Animal Services page. So that's, you know, your animal control. Their page is a good one to follow as well. And then, of course, the Sheriff's Department's connected to that. And then OES, you know, usually everybody kind of shares what OES says. So all of those places, they all have Facebook pages, and you can follow those.
Awesome. So what we'll do is we'll see if somebody on our team can post those links here in the chat link to make it easy for everyone. Also, another special shout out to Jessica. She sent in hearts here. I believe, if I remember right, her and her team coordinated a gazillion bales of hay.
Oh my gosh.
Story.
Like I said, Jessica was amazing. Jessica was amazing. She did a lot of amazing work during the fire, as well as Western Ranch Feed Store did a lot. Higbee's in Dixon did a lot. It really was a collaborative effort, but people came together for the livestock of Solano County for sure.
Oh, awesome. Let's see. Let me show you the screen 2, which is our second point, which is to make a plan. We talk about creating a contact list. Who do you need to contact with, including someone that lives outside of your region. But I feel like we might be missing some animal related contacts. You gave us some, which is, looking at those Facebook pages. Is that it, or is there a special number to call?
Well, and that's what we're working on. So with working with animal control, we're going to try to develop a, where it's one number all the time. This is the number during a disaster. This is the number you call. But that's not really in place yet. So we're getting there. We're working that way. So for right now, what Solano CART does, whenever we do a disaster presentation, whenever we go to somebody's property and help them, be like a second pair of eyes on their property on how they can prepare for disasters, what we tell people is be as self-sufficient as you possibly can. And that really is the ticket. Our first responders are completely tied up in the first 2 to 3 days of a disaster. Their job is human safety and property protection. Animals are not on that list, okay? So we need to encourage our animal owners to be as self-sufficient as possible. So what I suggest is on your contact list, have somebody in your neighborhood that if you're not home, say you're at work when a disaster happens, you can call them and say, hey, go grab my dogs and cats, go grab my birds. Or, if somebody has horses and they have room in a horse trailer, that you can go and grab their livestock. But then also you have to have a location outside of the area that might be closed down by roadblocks where you can take those animals. So Solano CART, if you go on our webpage, which we'll give you our website, we have a temporary housing database for livestock owners. So if you have horses and you had to pull your animals out, you could go to that list and look, and there will be people listed under the horse category or under the sheep category or under the goat category that you can give them a call and say, hey, I'm evacuated. Would you be willing to house my animals for me? Because we can't always guarantee that there will be a large animal shelter open, or if it'll be able to be opened quickly. So try to be as self-sufficient as possible.
That you gave so many nuggets there. So I would love someone on the team to find your website so that we can post that here. I think that needs to be.
Yep, there it is. They got it. One of volunteers is on it. They've got it. And you just go to the temporary housing tab on Solano CART website. But I really encourage you to work with your friends and family that live outside the area. Who do you know at least 10 miles outside of where you live, where you could take a herd of sheep, or you could drop your horses for a couple of days just until things settle down and you figure out what's going on?
Wow. Okay. That is great. And I also love the advice that you gave about, contacting a neighbor and saying, can you go pick up Bella? Can you go
Yes.
get Juicy?
Well, and get neighborhood. I mean, the neighborhood where my horses are, they actually, for this fire, they came together so quick, and they developed a little. It's almost like a neighborhood watch group, but it's a disaster watch group, and they take care of each other. They know how many animals are in that neighborhood. They know who's home at certain times and who's not, so that if there's a disaster, that neighborhood takes care of themselves. They take care of each other, and they make sure the people are out. They make sure the animals are out, and I highly recommend you doing that in your neighborhood.
Awesome. Let me go to we were talking about evacuation plans. Is this relevant to those with that have to evacuate pets? Are there certain, if you have a trailer, could it be a certain evacuation plans where a trailer won't fit during, in a small road? I don't know. Is this something we should be concerned about if we have pets with livestock? I mean, not pets. We have livestock.
Yeah, it's huge. First of all, I know what I was surprised to learn during this fire is how many livestock owners actually don't even have a trailer. So that's something that you need to think about. If you are a livestock owner, do you have the means to get your animals out yourself? Because as you remember with our LNU fires, the evacuation orders started around midnight. So, that's in the middle of the night. It's really hard to get, and it was so fast. I mean, everybody, it happened so fast that there was not enough help to go around. Solano CART, when we were activated at midnight by OES, most of our members were evacuating their own houses first before they could come work. We only had 4 horse trailers going in probably the first 6 hours of the disaster, because most of our group was evacuating themselves. So that's why we're encouraging self-sufficiency. Look at your roads. If you live on Canelo Road, between English Hills and Pleasance Valley Road, that's not a great trailer road. But there's a lot of animals up there. So you have to ask yourself, am I a skilled enough trailer driver to get my animals out when I'm on small roads, blocked roads, trees are down, that type of thing? Or am I going to be reliant on somebody else to come in and get my animals for me? That should be stuff that you look at well ahead of the disaster. Know what's going on around your neighborhood.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, so we talk about point number 3 is to pack a go bag. Yeah, I don't see anything on this list about our pets.
Your pet should have a go bag. My dogs have a go bag. My horses have a go box that's filled with the things that they might need if they are displaced from their home. So the most important thing for dogs and cats, I'm just going to tell you right now, well, it's important for livestock too. So if there's a way to do it, is water. Animals can go for a couple of days without food. They can't go without water. So make sure that you have a water source that goes with you. Even a lot of horse trailers have a water tank. And you should have that horse trailer water tank filled during fire season. And that way, if you evacuate your horses, that you automatically have at least 25 gallons of water that you can offer your horses or your livestock in that couple hours, a period of time where there might not be anything available. So yes, have a go box. Have it if you are a livestock owner. Have it located in a place where if it's not you evacuating your animal, the people can find it. So if Solano CART is coming onto your property during a mandatory evacuation, we are trained to look for emergency go boxes for the animals. So mark them in bright letters, make them really visible, because we'll grab it and take it with us when we grab your animals and go. And it's the same for dogs and cats. Keep it very visible where people, if it's not you evacuating your animals, your friends or Solano Cart can find those go bags and take them with when we go.
Wow. These are things I hadn't even thought about. This is really powerful information. Let me show you the next screen, which is build a stay box.
Yes, a stay box.
A 3-day stay box for livestock and our pets.
Yep, that's a fantastic idea. We again, when we go on to people's property, when they invite us on to help them with their disaster action plan, we always tell them to have something in place that has feeding instructions, medication instructions. If your animals, there was a lot of animals that were sheltered in place during our fires that the owners had to get out so fast, they could not take their livestock with them. They had to just put them in a place that had no grass and dirt and were not surrounded by trees so that they could ride out the fire and not get hurt, but they had to be left. And as you know, we weren't allowed, regular people were not allowed back to their homes for a week or more. And so, but yet Solano Cart was allowed to go back in, and we would go to different houses and look for animals and give them food and water. But man, if there was a stay box there and it didn't burn up, I mean, you always have that, that possibility. But there was a lot of houses that were still standing. And if they had a go box right there that had the instructions of how to properly feed their animals, if those animals had medications or any special problems, the name and phone number of their vet. That way, if the animal was hurt, we could call their vet, the vet that they use, and see if that vet could come out and give that animal treatment.
So, Vicki, am I understanding that there is an livestock animal registry?
What do you mean by registry?
Registry. So there's there's a fire that happens. People have to, in Vacaville, everyone in this section, District 5 or whatever, it has been evacuated. Mm-hmm. Do you go to a list and say, oh, that means that's a da-da-da farm, that's this, that's that. We haven't heard from them, but let's do a wellness check to see if animals are there? Do you do that?
Well, so that's a really observant thing to bring up, and I'm happy to address that. So we do have that. It's developing though. So the magnitude of people who were affected during this fire, it only accounted for a small portion, but we do Solano Cart offers a free service called Disaster Action Planning. And what you can do is contact us at info@solanocart.org, email us, and we can send a team to your house to help you develop an evacuation plan. So we can give you tips and ideas. We can look at your property. And what that does is that gives us information that we keep on file so that during a fire, if we know that your house is there in the fire zone and you've left animals behind, we've already been to your property before. We know where your stuff is. We know how many animals are on your property because we just refer to our disaster action plan binder, find your address with your paperwork, and we already know how we would bring trailers in if we had to evacuate your animals. We have the plan in place because we've already done it with you, with your advice on how to get the trailers in, how to get them out, how to load your animals, which animals are difficult, which ones aren't, all this information. So we're developing that. So if you want to have a disaster action plan done on your property and you get on our disaster action plan notebook, we will know where you are during a disaster. And then we also have a number of people that have had disaster action plans done with us. And during fire season, especially if it's a red flag warning day and say they're going out of town for the weekend, they give us a call and say, hey, I'm out of town this weekend. If there's a fire, would you please check on my property? It's turned out to be quite a wonderful service. But during the LNU fires, we only had a handful of those. We hope to develop that more. But we just drove around and looked for animals. We just looked for them. If we saw them, we stopped. We made sure they had water. If there wasn't food and we had some, we threw some to them.
I love it. Okay, and I'm just documenting. I want to make sure that right in our feed, we have, and I want to make sure I called it the right thing, a livestock evacuation plan, and it's free. And they need to contact Solano CART for that.
Yeah, a disaster action plan. Yeah.
Did I just make up something else?
It's okay. The livestock, I mean, we would know what you were talking about if you do that, but we call them DAPs. We call them DAP, Disaster Action Planning. Yeah, Disaster Action Planning.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also when we get our mapping system up, we will put all of our DAP locations, all the properties that we've visited, we will map them, we'll plot them on a map so that we know exactly where they are. If a fire hits a certain area, we know instantaneously who we've done disaster action plans for in that area being affected.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so we're putting up on the screen, it's a DAP, Disaster Action Planning, and they need to contact you all. Thank you, Solano volunteers, at info@solanocart.org. And by the way, Solano volunteers, I believe the reason why they wanted us to put up that link is because I have a feeling you, if you aren't, I think you are, Solano CART is part of Solano volunteers. And when there's an emergency, you do a call for help, call for volunteers. And through that database, Rhonda and that team tell all the volunteers, look, Solano CART needs volunteers, needs help. Go here, there, wherever y'all want them. Is that right?
Well, it would be probably a little bit more because we are a specialized team. So if you're going to be on our team, you need to train with our team and you need to become a disaster service worker. But what that could do is it would at least funnel them to our website. So whenever we're activated by OES, it's OES that has, or animal control that has to swear in people to work during a disaster, not us.
Okay.
We work for the county during an activated disaster.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we don't have the power to tell anybody that they can help and do anything.
So what Solano Volunteers does is they step in and they want to recruit in advance for you. So say anyone is watching this and they are completely captivated by Solano CART and they say, you know what? I want to be affiliated with them. I want to be activated. Well, don't do it at the last minute. Right now, we want you to go onto that website, click and say, I want to be a volunteer, and they will connect. Solano volunteers will connect them to you, and you very much in advance, you need to get all that these volunteers need to be trained.
Yes.
So that night of, if there's something that happens and I'm clicking on the link and says, Vicki, I want to volunteer, you're going to say, no, ma'am, you need to be trained.
I would direct them to wherever the county says that they're swearing in volunteers for that incident. That's where I would direct them.
Oh.
During an incident. So they'll say, so during the LNU fires, you had to go to the Mission Church over on Leisure Town. And that's where they swore in what we call spontaneous volunteers. But if you're interested, but this is great, link us, and then that way people that want to get involved with us, but they need to understand, if you click that link and you go to our website, just because you did that does not make you a member of Solano CART. You have to complete all the trainings. You have to work with us. This is a year-round thing. We have to stay sharp year-round. We're doing training all year round in case there's a disaster, and then we're ready to roll.
Okay. Well, I'm going to remove this because this is blocking us all. Hold on. There we go. So, but in the screen, thank you, Solano volunteers. We have that link to volunteer. It's the volunteer application. You all that are inspired by Vicki and fired up and want to work with her and her amazing team, don't wait until the day of. Let's get started right now so you can get your training in and be sharp for the emergency, right, Vicki?
Yes, and I really encourage, if anybody wants to join Solano CART, do it now, because we're in from probably January, February to May. That's when we do our concentrated training leading up to fire season. And then usually around May is when we have OES swear in all the new members. But you have to complete your training requirements first. So use the winter and early spring to get all the requirements done, and then you'll be ready to swear in as a disaster service worker in May leading into fire season, and then we're ready to go.
Got it. Okay, we have one final point, which is to help friends and neighbors. And I feel like you gave us a bit of that already, because you said, look, you may be at work during an emergency. Mm-hmm. We live in Solano County. What if you work in San Francisco and you find that there's an emergency? What do you do? And so I felt like you touched on help friends and neighbors. You want to help them, but you also want to help them. So if you're at home I work from home during the day. Maybe I should know who, if my neighbors have pets. I have to tell you, I'm not going to go get my neighbor's pet. I'm allergic to cats. Won't be touching that cat. But for the other ones, maybe I should be aware of who they are so I can be activated. So is that what you meant, or did you have some other ideas?
Yes, it's a little bit of both. So, you need to have people right within your neighborhood. It's really important that in your neighborhood, even if it's just, it may not be a whole big, if you live in town, that looks different than if you live in the country. In the country, it might be a small little, down the road, the people that live on your road. In town, it's a little different. So maybe in your little 10 house around you circle, you at least kind of know who has a dog, who has a cat, who has animals. Encourage your neighbors to put a sticker on their window that indicates how many animals they have inside. And that way, that's just, not even for a wildfire, that's just for a house fire. That helps. If firemen show up, they'll see a sticker in the window that says, hey, I know that there's 2 dogs and 3 cats in that house. We need to look for those animals. So it's little things like that. If you're a livestock owner, that's where it's really important, because once those roadblocks go up, a lot of times only the people that live in that neighborhood will be allowed back in. So if you have a friend that lives across town that has a horse trailer that can come get your animals, well, they're not going to be able to get in because they don't live in that neighborhood, and that roadblock may say residents only. And then what are you going to do? So it's better to work out a relationship with your immediate neighbors if you're a livestock owner, so that you can get those trailer resources in there during the voluntary evacuation before those hard roadblocks go up, and get those animals out ahead of the problem. Because Solano CART, if we are being called in, that means that the hard roadblocks are up and nobody's allowed in there.
Wow. Okay. You have really opened my mind to pet and livestock emergency preparedness. This has been amazing. We're going to give people just another minute. I have a feeling that you gave so much information. I don't know how many more questions will pop up, because I feel like you really covered end to end. Emergency preparedness, we covered, what to do for our livestock and our pets and pre-planning, how that layers with how we protect ourselves. I loved how you talked about volunteerism and folded that in. But I want to give people a minute or two. If you have a question for Vicki, you go ahead and put it in the you put that in the chat here, and we'll be able to see it. What we're also going to do is we are going to create a special page on Empower Solano for this feed will live there. And also, and if we can get a handle of it right now before we close the live, we'll post it. But I think what we're also going to post is not only this presentation, so you can go back to it and you can share it with your friends, whether they're on one of our social media streams or not. You can just send them the link. But I think also what we'll do, Vicki, if you have any special, like electronic brochure that you want us to attach to that page and then and point them back to you, we can do that as well.
Okay, I don't have anything like that right away. We are actually currently working on a brochure, but we do have our website. We have our Facebook page.
Okay.
That's probably our best sources to give you. And I do want to encourage people that if you maybe you board your horse at a boarding barn, or you are a 4-H group or a FFA group or something like that, and you want to have a presentation done on disaster preparedness specific for animals, namely livestock, we do presentations, and we can adapt that to a Zoom format because of the COVID restrictions that we have. So there's ways for you to educate we really encourage the boarding barns. If you are a facility that houses many, many horses, we would love to meet with you to find out. We did a disaster action plan with Ranch Hotel right there by Lagoon Valley. They are fantastic. They're just set up really well. We have met with Pleasance Valley Riding Arena in the past, which is out on Pleasance Valley Road, who they rode through the fire really well because of all of the preparedness that they have done in the years leading up to this. So we can work with you. If there's something that you need help with, let us know, and we will find a way to give you the resources that you need to get as prepared as possible.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going through our feed because I feel like I missed a few. I do see where Jessica was talking about the crew being very knowledgeable, to all big animal lovers, great people. They saved many animals during the evacuation. I saw that, but I also saw where someone wanted to know what the wish list for Solano cart is.
A great idea. If you go to our Facebook page and our website, we do have a donation page on our website. We do have a Amazon Smiles account. So you can, if you do Amazon Smiles, you can look for Solano Community Animal Response Team. And then all your purchases that you make on Amazon, a portion of that will come back to us. So yeah, we have, if you go to our website and our Facebook page, there's multiple things listed there. One of the big things that I personally really want to build up over time, because this was something that during the fires, we weren't super prepared for. All of our volunteers volunteer their own gas money in order to do this. And I wanted to share that we added up the mileage. We drove over 2,751 miles, evacuating animals to Vallejo, doing the shelter in place, and our people paid for their own gas. So I would love to start getting a collection of gas cards that I can have on hand, and that way when there's a disaster that hits, I can be handing my drivers gas cards so that they're not having to pull all of that money out of their pocket. We had one member that drove over 700 miles on her own, on her own bill. And I just, I want the community to understand that that's a huge way to support us, is to help us with the gas money. Disasters hit, because it's on our dime.
And what that looks like is just maybe individuals or groups of people buying gas cards from just various gas. I wouldn't, so Chevron, would they buy Chevron? Would they buy just all different types and just
matter
mail and send it to you?
Yeah, just whatever we can do. And what we'll do is we'll stick them in a container that's, when you're activated and a disaster hits, we can hit that, we can pull that out and start, handing out gas cards to relieve that burden of the gas bill.
So Solano Volunteers says, let's discuss that idea with the Solano Community Foundation.
That's great. Let's do it. Thank you. That's a huge thing.
Yeah. And they said that they want to organize donations. So we can let you know how to best address this issue.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
I have a feeling that is Miss Rhonda Smith that is talking. So that's who you should talk to. And Jessica says that you can get gas cards from kiosks in grocery stores. So that's really an easy lift for people that are going to the grocery store and kind of while you're there, you have some money to donate. Just go ahead and pick up those cards and then send that to you all, and you all will send some type of notice that yes, I received it. We don't have to worry that it's
what you could do is, for right now, while we figure, because again, this is the first time we've been activated, so we didn't have a lot of this stuff super ironed out yet. But if you have gas cards, send us an email, through the info@solanocart.org and say, hey, I have gas cards that I want to donate. Who do I mail them to? And that way, that'll give us some time to figure out exactly where we want those gas cards mailed to, the exact address. And we can, when we get that worked out, we'll put it up on our website. But right now, that's not 100% sure yet. We don't have a P.O. box or anything like that at this point.
Okay. I think we've covered it all. I do. I don't think I missed. Yep. I don't think I missed anything. So Rhonda says, go ahead and email her.
All right. I will contact Rhonda. Thank you, Rhonda.
And Vicky's right on it. She's writing her note right now.
Down. I've got it down. We're ready to go. We appreciate all the help and cooperation that we get from this community, and I really got to tip my hat to the county as well, the Sheriff's Department, OES, Animal Control. It takes a lot of trust to accept a group that's on the outside to come in and do that, because the liability is high. And they really did take a chance on us and let us help them. And I think that this cooperation is going to work out really well. And we were really very appreciative to be able to work with our county officials and then have an amazing supportive community in Vacaville and Fairfield and the surrounding towns to support those efforts.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we've closed this segment with a bang. We've been waiting to talk about pets and livestock. You have really inspired us, given us a lot of great information. We know what to do when we, I bet you there's plenty of people that's taking notes and will watch this segment later and be informed. And I just
email us. We're open to any questions, so please bring it on.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to put you in the waiting room. I want to say goodbye to you properly, but I'm putting you in the waiting room, and let me say goodbye to the audience.
All right, we'll see you later. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, was she wonderful or wonderful? That was Vicki Dawson, and she helped us understand emergency preparedness for pets and for livestock, and that was amazing. Vicki Dawson with Solano Carts. So we are about to sunset this program. Not to say that there's not any other unsung heroes of Solano County, but my goodness, we've given a lot of information. So we're going to be sunset in the next next Friday or the Friday after. I know next Friday we are bringing in Solano. Oh, Alert Solano. Alert Solano, and as you know, they number one in our disaster preparedness is alerts, and so Alert Solano will be here next Friday, and we may have one other show, but we are wrapping this up. It's Robin Rains from OES. I believe she's one of the deputies at OES in Solano County, and I believe she's in charge of Alert Solano. So yay! So that is next week. So join us next Friday at 12 noon as we bring forward Robin Rains. With that, you all stay safe. Please watch our other episodes. As you can see, we've had other of our unsung heroes that have dropped into these podcasts, and they're continuing to enrich the podcast. But look at these past episodes because they are equally as amazing. Thank you. Goodbye.